What is your recommendation on cleaning your chain?
Oh, yes, yes, okay, thanks, Jim. Yeah, I did in the tool too. Now really, removing a chain and putting it in a can of gasoline, acetone, paint thinner, that's really
Cigarette in your mouth.
that's really old school. That's just too much work.
Besides, we don't have cred here.
Right, that's right. So they make a really handy device. We sell these at the shop. There's a bunch of companies that make a chain cleaner. I've tried all of them, and the Pedro's is my personal favorite. I mean, we clean chains all day long with this little device. I grabbed this one off the shelf, and I forgot the little handle that's on there, but it's got a little handle. So it's really easy to do. It takes a minute, and it's very clean, especially if we're not putting any fluid in there. But basically, all you're doing is just putting in like a shot of whatever you got. It'll come with a little bit of like a citrus degreaser. We sell a good citrus degreaser at the shop. You can use, simple green. You can use anything that will cut grease. And you don't have to use very much of it. There's a little line right here. I mean, it's really literally, it's a shot. It's just enough for the brushes to dip in there. So all you do is you take the top off, pour a little bit of that in there, and put the chain like there, put the top on that like that, click it closed, see that? The chain is now going over a brush that's going to get up in between the rivets there, under a brush, over another brush, and through these little scrapers on the side, and then you're just going to take this, hold this, and then just back, it is easy, just backpedal this. Just go through a few times like this, and your chain will come out like brand new. And you just pop this open, dispose of it in some environmental way. You put something that's good in there for the environment, but then once you've mixed it with what it is that you're using on your chain, then that's no longer a biodegradable, thing that you're dumping out. So you got to keep that in mind. So that's really all you have to do. Just run it through there once. What I'll also do sometimes, if it's a really grimy chain, is then after I run it through that once, maybe twice, if you really have grimy chain, then I'll dump this out, rinse this out in the sink, and I'll just fill up with water. Just put water in there and do one more rinse off with water. Now it certainly helps if you have a compressor to blow it off with, but even still, no matter, because you can just, after you do the water, if you just take a big fat rag under there and backpedal it through a rag, it'll dry it enough to where whatever little bit of residual water might still be in the chain, it's not gonna have any effect on it. And then I let it dry out a little bit, and then before my next ride, I'll put a little lube on there. But these are really handy. I mean, they're like 25 bucks, and I mean, you can clean the filthiest chain. And literally, it's so easy to use that I'll use one of these after every 2 or 3 rides, because it just takes a minute to do it. And if you keep your chain clean, then all your cassette and everything else is gonna stay clean. We also sell a brush, but you rarely have to use this stuff if you just keep everything clean from the beginning. Park makes a really cool brush that is just ideal. Stiff little brush that's really good for cleaning, pulley wheels. And then it's got this little hooky thing here, so because you get that buildup, you get that grime, the buildup in between the cogs. And it's like, how do you get that out of there? This tool fits right in between the cogs and just like
Your spouse's toothbrush looks
takes that out there. So these between this and the chain cleaner, I mean, this is all you need for your drivetrain, and everything else can be done with a little bit of soapy water, the rest of your frame, and cleaning is easy.
Hey, Michael, I'm sort of, I use a chain cleaner too, but I use Tri-Flow to clean it. So it's like the cleaning and the lubing all in one step, you know?
Yeah.
So, and then I just recycle the stuff, I let it sit in a container, let it settle out, and I run it through a coffee filter. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's, you know, it's gonna get dirty, so.
Tri-Flow is so
Works
80s.
Hmm?
Tri-Flow is so 80s.
It is. You can buy about a gallon. Man.
Tri-Flow looks good, but you know, I think there's a lot better lubricants on the market today that are a lot cleaner. You know, the Tri-Flow, it's black really quickly. You know, and it's a little bit, you know, like I say, they've come a long way since Teflon. You know, then it was paraffin, and I mean it's now liquid polymers that we sell this stuff in the shop that really is the best lube I've ever used, called Dumont-Tech.
Yes.
And it's great. It's really, really good stuff. It's clean, and it adheres. You know, you go on their website and read chemically how it adheres to the metal. Yet it's easy to clean off. You don't get buildup. Doesn't attract dirt.
What is it called again?
Dumont-Tech. Comes in a light and a dark formula for like road or mountain. The company says, which is, you know, this is what the company says, they get 400 miles from one, you know, you lube up your chain, it's good for 400 miles. I like to clean it more often than that, but that's what they claim, 400 miles in between.
Do you think it's a good idea to wipe down the chain after every ride? It seems, in my case, it seems to really lengthen the life of the drive.
Yes, yeah, it does. Keep it clean and dry. I was reading in one of the magazines recently, they did a study on different lubricants and how much, you know, I think it's MIT did this, how much resistance between a bone dry clean chain compared to a lubricated chain. Zero. There was absolutely no difference in the resistance between a clean and dry chain and a chain that's lubricated. So you want to use your lubrication very, very lightly.
Yeah, it picks up a lot of dirt.
Yeah. It's I also read once where the action of riding is actually magnetic. It kind of creates a little bit of some electric magnetic, and it causes stuff to like adhere to the chain magnetically. I don't know if it's understanding. Static electricity, yeah. Less is better, you know. I always like to wait for I wait for my chain to tell me that it needs to be lubricated. Instead of, if it looks lubricated, it's probably over lubricated. You want it to look kind of clean and dry. Wait for your chain to ask you for a little while.
How many times do you backpedal to have the chain go through running tires?
You mean for through the device?
Well, through anything, just to have one complete circle, how many times?
There's oil in the chain, you saw one link, three turns around the chain with one chain all the way to the same.
Okay. Well, I will
Change
also a math guy. Average chain would have 112 links. You know, if you have a compact gearing, you got 32.
You got the chain wheels and then 2 turns.
Yeah,
Well, it's
2 turns. There it is, 2 turns.
on the big chain wheel.
And after I lubricate, after I go around with the oil, then I just go around a few more times, and then I grab a rag and then I wipe off all the excess that I